Now, am I 16 years too late? Yes. Do I give a fuck? No, I do not. Serious Sam 2 is a game created by a sociopath who clearly had too much hate for human existence. Seriously, the last stage in the game can take you up to 2 hours to complete, and that's not counting all the deaths you're probably gonna go through. On top of that, this game has like 42 levels. Whoever typed this is clearly a controlled operative. Or he overdosed on heroin and played through the entire game so it felt like 10 hours instead of 3 days. With that out of the way, this game was released in 2005. It's an oldie but a goldie. Let not the childish graphics fool you from the evil that's hidden inside. It's more of a parody than an actual serious game. I'm gonna kill my... which in hindsight, I don't hate. The story honestly is rather secondary to the chaos that unfolds during the game, but I'm still gonna go over it. So basically you need to collect 5 pieces of some kind of a medallion, so you can weaken or challenge or defeat Mental, the final boss of the game, and the one who controls all the aliens that attack you. I should have probably mentioned that every time you obtain one of the medallion pieces, you go to a different planet. And when you get all 5 pieces, you have one more planet to go through before the final one. Because the planet where Mental resides is defended by a force shield and you have to go to this planet called... I'm gonna be honest, I don't remember any of the names, sue me. It's a snowy planet. There you need to activate a weapon that will open a hole in the final planet. You can go and... so you can go and fight the final boss, obviously. So you do that, go to the final boss, boom boom, and all done. The final boss is a giant moving pyramid, by the way, so yeah, I don't know what kind of crack the devs were when they were making this game. So after you defeat it, you go in there and you find out Mental escaped, the bastard, nowhere to be found, just a radio on his throne. Or was he there to begin with? The bosses you have to fight to acquire the pieces of medallion are Quango, Zum Zum, Prince Chan, Count Klerovsky, Cecil, Hugo, wrong Hugo, and the Institution of Mental, each one of them having some sort of a gimmick to them how to defeat them. Well, like in most fucking games, Quango you have to defend the native people from other ads, so they can shoot the guy with catapults. I mean, they're not shooting catapults at him, they're shooting fiery hell from catapults. And they're called Simbas. Yeah, at this point I'm not surprised. Zum Zum has flowers you have to destroy so he can't regain health, because he's a bee. Prince Chan will have a giant gong appear above his head and you have to shoot it because it hurts him for some fucking reason. Count Klerovsky you have to open hands that have these crystals in them and connect the beam to damage him. Pain in the ass really, probably the worst fight in the whole game. Cecil, you need to collect bolts so you can shoot him with a giant ballista because he's a dragon, medieval times, you know. Hugo, you basically run away from him for a short duration and then you get to a helicopter and then it's like an airborne battle. And the Institution of Mental, which is the moving pyramid, you basically get into a vehicle, you get a buff and you shoot the core when it's available, but he's gonna send a shit ton of enemies at you, so be ready for that. Why the fuck did I write all this? Now let's talk about the fun part of the game. The weapons. Mwah! Bellissimo.
Mia, Marcello!
There are so many weapons you can find, but there is a catch. Every time you clear a boss, you lose your weapons. All your weapons, except for the starter ones, of course. And every planet will give you different weapons for your time there. Except for the final stage, you will receive all of them. The cannon being, of course, the last one and the strongest weapon in the game. You can actually acquire weapons that you aren't supposed to have, but I'ma get to that later. Weapons are a bit wacky looking, but what do you expect for a game from 2005 and where you fight aliens? Every type of ammunition has 2 weapons that use it. For instance, you have a weird looking single fire shotgun that looks like a minigun or a double barrel shotgun. You can choose between double Uzi or a minigun. I mean, you can't choose really, depends if you get both of them. Personally, my favorite is the rocket launcher counterpart. That doesn't really use the same rockets because it's a grenade launcher, not a rocket launcher. It looks weird and I don't know, it just feels fun to shoot. But a close second is the counterpart of the plasma rifle, which is a laser rifle that shoots a beam of death Originally this weapon didn't exist in Serious Sam 2, but they added it later. It's pretty good. There's one more thing called the Serious Bomb. What does it do? It kills everything on the screen and you can carry upwards of 3 of them. And they are quite hard to find and you don't get them that often. Why? Because it would make the game a whole lot easier. Most of the times the Serious Bomb is a secret or you get it once per planet. That isn't a secret. And the dumbest weapon in this game goes to how do you pronounce this shit? Cloudwick? Which is a bird with a bomb necklace around its neck. So it's basically a homing bomb. What the fuck, man? You know, this game is called Serious Sam, but I feel like that's a meme too. The level design, I give you props for that. Levels look really fucking nice. And one more thing about the stages in this game and the level design, secrets, or how do you call them these days, Easter eggs. So basically Easter eggs can range from some gimmicky thing like a dead donkey, I don't know, something like you can find a weapon that you're not supposed to have at that part of the game or at that stage of the game, but you can find it as a secret, or you can find a dead donkey like I said. There's a really cool secret on the 6th stage, which is a picture of all the devs. Yeah, it's pretty nice. So that's a fun little feature if you like to explore. Since it's an old game, of course there are cheats for the game that can give you all weapons, god mode, turbo mode, flight, and unlock all the levels for you, if you don't feel like getting crippling depression while going through the game. With all this in mind, the game was released in 2005. I feel like I said this like 6 different times already, but whatever. And for its time, it's a pretty good game. Some people might not like the whole cartoony feel that the game has, and that it feels more like a parody than an actual game. But like I said before, I don't mind it. When I was first showed this game, I couldn't stop thinking about it. I just wanted to play it. Now that I'm older, I can see the flaws that the game has. Still, it was a part of my childhood, and one of the bigger parts of it. But I'm not going to rate it on a biased manner, I'm just saying that because back then it was better than these days. The games did feel unfinished, but devs released them because they liked them. These days you have something like COD, Vanguard, and you see the differences. With all that in mind, I give Serious Sam a solid 6 out of 10. If you want to play a fun, chaotic old game, I would recommend it. And if you don't mind the game being more of a parody, you should give it a try if you want a good laugh. The jokes can be a little bit old. So yeah, give it a try if you want to play an old game. I hope you enjoyed this shit post of mine and have a good one.